Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon where you are joining us in the world today. Thank you for attending IFMA's live webinar session with myself. We're going to be talking about IFMA's credentials, the CFM, the FMP, and the SFP. And I'm going to be explaining all of these credentials to you today, but we want this to be an open conversation. So any questions at all you have about the credentials, IFMA, I'm happy to answer. Please type them in the chat if you are joining us live on LinkedIn. I will try to answer everything I can on the presentation today. It is just myself. If you attended the presentation yesterday with my colleagues in the US, they have a whole team working with them. So it's just myself today. So if I don't get to your question today, I do make a point to go through and answer all of the questions on the LinkedIn chat written as well. So you can always go back to those comments and review answers there. Depending upon where you are joining us in the world, please let me know. I am actually located in Stavanger, Norway. My family moved here about a year and a half ago. So we are soon to be entering our second winter in Norway. I'd love to see and hear where you are from. If you can type it in the chat. We have someone already joining us from Indonesia. Welcome. So my name is Lauren Krueger, and I am the Director of Sales Operations for IFMA. I've been with IFMA for almost 10 years. I just passed my 9-year anniversary last month. So I started out in the membership department and am now in the professional development department. So everything that handles IFMA's training, credentials, that is what we work with. So hello, Anas, joining us from Dubai. And I also want to mention, so IFMA's headquarters are based in Houston, Texas, in the United States, but IFMA also has offices around the world. Lara Payman is the managing director for IFMA Europe, or IFMA EMEA, sorry. Mahender Singh is the director for IFMA India, and CC Dai is the managing director for IFMA China. So we have support and representation all around the world, and these individuals are also there to help answer any of your questions that you have about membership, training. We are conducting training in all of these areas, so if you are looking for classes to take some of these credentials, they would be able to help you as well. We have people joining from Kenya and Switzerland, Lagos, Nigeria. Hi, welcome, welcome. Macedonia. So, all right, we are going to jump into the presentation and get started here. So, who is IFMA? I am going to remove myself so you can focus just on the screen. IFMA's vision is to lead the future of the built environment to make the world a better place. And our mission is to advance our collective knowledge, value, and growth for facility management professionals to perform at the highest level. IFMA has been around for over 40 years. We have 139 chapters. We have members in more than 100 countries, and overall we have 22,000 members globally. So some of you are joining from different countries in the world, and I see someone from Lagos, Nigeria. IFMA does have a chapter in Lagos. So we have 139 chapters all over the world. There's chapters in Europe, there's chapters in Africa, in Asia. So if you are joining and are this presentation looking to learn more about IFMA and how you can get involved and you are not already a member, definitely take a look at that. See if there is a local chapter near you. It's a great way to network with other professionals and individuals. A lot of the chapters hold monthly meetings, and again, great way to network with other individuals. They usually put on some sort of education component. A lot of chapters will do facility tours. So again, just a great way to see what other professionals and facilities are doing in your area and to learn and network with them. So Why does lifelong learning matter? IFMA and we'll learn has developed a unique way for our training courses to be delivered to you. We have broken out our training so that it meets you at your intersection of your career and your training needs. Dependent upon if you're new to the industry, if you've been in the industry for more than 10 years, if you're just starting out, if you're a senior manager or director, there are various ways that you can continue your lifelong learning and upskilling on the job training. IFMA offers a number of courses that will help you find the correct training for you. There are programs out there that have training from everything under the sun. But the real question is, do you need all of that training that might be included in a one size fits all bundle? And a lot of times the answer is no. A lot of the times you already may be competent or you have many experience in a certain area or topic, job function, and you don't need maybe some training in that area, but on other sections of facility management. So IFMA provides a unique way for you to find the training that is exactly what you need, fill those knowledge gaps, and continue to upskill for your on-the-job career. What does it take to be successful in facility management? You have to have those foundational skills, and everything that goes into having those skills includes passion for learning and staying up to date on industry trends. Again, that lifelong learning component. You need a solid foundation in the fundamentals of facility management, a determination to make an impact on your organization, and confidence in your expertise that can be verified by credentials that you receive or going through the training that you receive. So, what can a credential do for you? That credential is going to confidently communicate the value of FM to your decision makers, to influencers in your organization. So that credential is going to show that you have conducted whether it be the FMP or the SFP, that you've gone through that training, that you've gained the necessary skills and knowledge within that training to go forth into your own facilities and apply what you've learned with your own facilities. With the CFM certification, as we'll learn, it's a little bit different, but that one is going to demonstrate you have reached the pinnacle achievement of facility management knowledge, that you are not only skilled in all of the 11 competencies in FM, but you can apply that knowledge and that skill to any facility that you work with. And I should mention that IFMA has conducted an ROI, return on investment, salary research report for those that have attained an IFMA credential. And those that have an IFMA credential do tend to see a 25% increase in their pay on average. Again, this is not a guarantee that that will happen if you receive a credential, but on average of the individuals surveyed, they did see an increase in their pay. So one other thing to note about IFMA's credentials is that they are all globally recognized and ANSI ANAB accredited. So the CFM, the FMP, and the SFP credential programs are all ANSI accredited. What does that mean? ANSI is the American National Standards Institute, and they are the American arm of ISO. So this third party has reviewed all of the policies, procedures, all of the exam questions, item analysis, subject matter experts, the job analysis that created these programs, everything that went into creating these credentialing programs. This third party has came in and reviewed to make sure that they follow the international standards for a certificate program for the FMP and SFP, or a certification program in the case of the CFM. So they have come in and they've reviewed all of that material to make sure that IFMA is conducting these credentialing programs that meet the level of standard needed for a credential program. So there are, some of you may be looking at other credentials out there in the world to determine which is the best fit for you. One thing that I would have you look at is to see if that credential is an accredited program from a third body like ANSI ANAB. That means that that credential is going to give you an extra protection in the market because they meet that level of quality and standard for an international credentialing program. There are credentialing programs out there that may not be accredited, and you may not know how that program was created, what are the policies and procedures to create that credentialing program, what are their learning objectives, do they follow, a job analysis. So it's very important to make sure that any credentialing program that you're looking at has been reviewed by a third party and are accredited, because it's going to give you that extra protection in the market by having that credential. So pathfinding with IFMA's professional development. Are you unsure where to start? We have a lot of programs out there. We do have a quick tool that can help you. It is our Career Compass. It's about a 2-minute survey. It will ask you some questions, and depending upon how you answered those questions, it's going to suggest a place for you to start and look at. Does not mean you have to start there, but it is a good place for you to say, okay, it's telling me I should start at the FMP. Let me read more into the FMP to determine if this is a right fit for me. So this is a high-level overview of the credentialing and training programs that IFMA offers and what they are and who they are for. So we're going to start with the essentials of facility management here on the bottom of the screen. And this is really a beginning entry-level training program. This is not a credentialing program. This is going to be for those individuals who are new to facility management or are within a facility management adjacent role. So whether you're an electrician or an HVAC maintenance. So this is going to be a program that is going to help you understand the role of a facility manager. What are those key concepts, terminologies, if you're looking to progress into a facility management role. It is a training program, and there are 10 modules that are included within the essentials. The next level up you see here is the FMP. This is for individuals seeking to gain knowledge of standards and best practices in the foundational 4 competencies. So IFMA has 11 competencies that we've defined from our job analysis that make up the facility management body of knowledge. The FMP program is going to cover those 4 foundational competencies, and we'll go into that a little bit more in the next slide. Excuse me. The next step is IFMA's core competencies. So you heard me just mention there are 11 total competencies that IFMA has defined. So the FMP makes up the foundational 4, and then we also have additional courses in the other 7 competencies. So if you are someone, this is going to be for someone, those FMs with a strong foundation in the foundational 4 already, and who want to round out their skills across the entire 11 competencies, that entire FM body of knowledge. So it's going to give you a complete understanding of all 11 core competencies. The SFP is going to be for those FMs already with a strong foundation in FM. So they may have the FMP. It's not required that you have the FMP if you are looking to attain the SFP credential. But we do say that you should have strong foundation in the 4 foundational competencies before pursuing the SFP, because that SFP is going to build on that foundation of knowledge. It's going to teach you how to implement sustainable practices within any facility, regardless of that facility's age. And then at the top, you see we have our master level, the CFM, and it's for experienced professionals who do meet certain eligibility requirements. And we are going to go into that in the next slides, so hang with me. And this is going to be for those individuals that want to demonstrate their mastery of all 11 competencies by having this certification after their name. When you see this CFM after someone's name, this is telling you that that individual has mastered all 11 competencies and they are skilled in all 11 competencies. So the CFM, the Certified Facility Manager, again, this is the pinnacle achievement for facility managers worldwide. It is for experienced facility management professionals with the knowledge and competence to apply their expertise across the entire body of knowledge. Again, that's those 11 competencies. And this is what you see on the screen here, the 11 competencies of FM. There are eligibility requirements for the CFM. That's going to include work experience as well as education. And the CFM exam tests your knowledge on all 11 competencies defined by IFMA's job analysis. So the CFM exam is going to ask you questions and test your knowledge on all 11 of these competencies. So how do you earn your CFM? The first step is to make sure you meet specific eligibility requirements. I know I keep mentioning this, and I promise in the next slide we will get into what those eligibility requirements are. But the CFM is not for everyone right now, depending upon where you are in your career. So there are eligibility requirements that you must meet before you can submit your application. The next step is going to be assess your readiness and prepare for that CFM exam. If you meet those eligibility requirements, you want to understand, are you ready to sit for the CFM exam now? Or is there certain training or preparation that you may want to do before sitting for that CFM exam? The next step is going to be submitting your application as well as that application fee through IFMA's website. The final step is going to be once that application is approved, you will schedule your CFM exam. If you pass that CFM exam, the final step is going to be taking an ethics training. So are you ready for the CFM? What are those eligibility requirements? You do have to have 5 years of experience in the majority of the 11 competencies that make up that facility management body of knowledge. If you are someone who has graduated from a bachelor degree program within facility management or a master's degree program within facility management, you only need 3 years of relevant facility management experience in order to be eligible to apply. All other education levels need at least 5 years. So are you a facility manager with 5 or more years of experience? Then you are eligible to apply at any time. If you want to understand, are you prepared to sit for that exam? IFMA does offer a number of ways to help you prepare those core competency courses that I mentioned earlier. We have an exam prep workshop as well as an exam, a CFM practice exam. Sorry, that's a typo there. The FM who has 4 years or fewer of experience, the next step is going to be, did you graduate from an FM degree program? If you did, and you have more than 3 years of experience, you are eligible to apply. If you did not graduate from an FM degree program, then you will need to wait until you have the relevant 5 years of experience before you can apply for that CFM exam. There are a number of things that you can be doing to help increase your knowledge, your awareness of the 11 competencies as you wait to become eligible for the CFM. And ways to do that, again, are through those individual competency courses, or you may look to strengthen your foundational knowledge and pursue the FMP while you wait to become eligible for the CFM. So once you have attained your CFM credential, if you're eligible, you've sat for the exam, you've passed that CFM exam, the final step is going to be CFM recertification. The CFM credential is a certification, meaning that it is good for only 3 years. So after those 3 years, you do need to submit your recertification requirements showing that you are maintaining your relevance, your knowledge within the industry. So CFMs are required to complete 6 activities in at least 2 of the following categories that you see on the screen. FM related education, and a way that you would demonstrate that is by attending conferences and events that are related to facility management or the built environment. It could be participating or purchasing training in any of the other competency courses to continue your knowledge and upskill. Practicing is another category. That's going to be, are you a practicing facility manager on the job? The third category is going to be professional leadership. Are you holding leadership positions in a local association like IFMA with your local chapter? Are you writing articles and submitting articles for IFMA's FMJ or Knowledge Library or other publications are out there? Those are all ways to demonstrate professional leadership within the industry. And then development of the profession as well. So again, are you submitting articles? Are you attending conferences and events? What are you doing to help push the industry forward? So your recertifications are going to be completed in CAMP, which is IFMA's Credentialing Application Maintenance Program. It's the same system that you will submit your CFM application in. So you will go back in there and submit the 6 activities that you have done within the last 3 years to show that you are maintaining your CFM certification. If you do not recertify and you let your CFM lapse, you will lose that certification. And in order to regain that certification, you will need to retake that CFM exam. So I would recommend, setting some time on your calendar to make sure that you are continuing to conduct these activities throughout your 3 years so that you are always thinking about recertification. And when it comes time after those 3 years, you are not missing that deadline and you are submitting your recertification so that you do not let your CFM lapse. So what are some common misconceptions about the CFM exam? And again, if at any time you have questions during this webinar, please type them into the chat. Let me know. I'm happy to answer them throughout the webinar. So common misconception is, I have to study for the CFM exam. The fact is, no, you do not. There is no preparation or specific books or materials that you must read or do in order to apply. The only prerequisite you have is making sure you meet the eligibility requirements. Now, just because you don't have to study doesn't mean you probably shouldn't. So again, it is up to you to assess your readiness for that CFM exam and to determine if there is training or preparation you want to take before sitting for that exam. But again, it is not required of you to do so. The other misconception is you can take this at home whenever you want, the CFM exam. So no. The CFM exam, you do have to go to a Prometric testing center. Prometric is the partner that IFMA uses to go to their location and sit at a computer and take the CFM exam. It is a proctored exam. Now, IFMA, because of COVID-19 pandemic, IFMA has begun to offer proctored virtual exams. And that does mean that you can take the CFM exam from your home. However, there are a number of requirements that you must meet before you're able to take that CFM exam at home. It is still proctored. So, for example, you have to have a webcam for someone to log on to watch you take that exam. They have to make sure there is nothing within your vicinity if you're taking this from your home. So it is not a easy thing to take at your home. There is a number of requirements, system requirements you must meet. So just keep that in mind if you are looking to perhaps do a virtual proctored exam, CFM exam. Please review IFMA's policies and everything that goes into doing that proctored exam virtually. The third misconception, IFMA's exam prep will cover everything I need to know about facility management. So no, it will not. IFMA does offer a virtual CFM exam preparation course, and this preparation course is not including any training in those 11 competencies. What this course is it's about understanding the exam methodology. So one of the way that IFMA's credentials are unique from other credentials that you might find out there is that this content is teaching you and training you to approach facility management from a global perspective, from that global standard. So other credentialing programs may be regional, meaning you're going to learn facility management as it is done or conducted within that specific country or region, such as Europe or the GCC or Africa. IFMA's credentialing programs approach the questions from that global perspective. So sometimes we have candidates for the CFM exam struggle with this approach because they may have been within their facility for 20 years and they're used to how they do facility management within their own facility. And that's not how IFMA's programs and questions are structured. They're structured to help you find the ideal answer as it would apply to a facility in the UK. It would be the same thing if you were in China, if you were in the US, if you were in Nigeria. So those questions are approached from a global perspective of how to approach that question. So the CFM exam prep course is going to teach you that methodology, how to apply that to the questions on the CFM exam so that you can look at it from that global perspective and not from the perspective of how you specifically would do it within your own specific facility. So that's something very unique. It's a different way to approach the questions. So taking that CFM exam prep course is a good way to help you prepare to how you think and approach the questions on the CFM exam. So the fourth misconception is that the CFM is a lifelong credential. And no, it is not. As we just mentioned, the CFM must be maintained. You must recertify that CFM every 3 years in order to stay up to date. And the final misconception is if I don't pass the CFM exam the first time, I will have to pay to retake the exam. No, IFMA offers a free retake on your second attempt. So if you were to fail for whatever reason your CFM exam on your first attempt, IFMA does offer a free retake for that CFM exam. You have 1 year, so 12 months, to use that free retake for the CFM exam. So that gives you some time to perhaps explore, what are some training that you may need, what further preparation you may need before attempting that free CFM retake. And if you do fail that CFM exam, IFMA does provide a report of the breakdown of the 11 competencies to tell you, what your percentage score was in each of those competencies so that it can help you understand what competencies you may have done not so well in, while others you may have done well in, to help you define and hone in on where you should study. So in comparing the FMP to the CFM, this is the most common question we get, and I think someone has already asked it in the chat, is where do I start? Do I start at the FMP or the CFM? So this is a quick view to show what are the differences between the FMP and the CFM. First, the FMP is a certificate program. This builds your knowledge. It is training you in the 4 foundational competencies of facility management. The CFM is a certification. This is not a training program. It is testing your knowledge and skills, your application of that knowledge to all 11 competencies. The FMP is again made up of those 4 foundational competencies out of all 11. The CFM is certifying your knowledge and your application of that knowledge in all 11 competencies. All 11 competencies are on that CFM exam. The FMP is a training program. When you purchase that FMP program, you are purchasing the learning, the training, the digital content, the chapter quizzes, everything you need to train you on the content and the skills within those foundational competencies. It also includes the final assessments. Those final assessments are what you need to take and pass in order to attain your FMP credential. Those are online. There is no place that you must go to sit and take a proctored exam for the FMP. The final assessments are online when you purchase that FMP program. Now, the CFM is different in that it is a proctored exam. You do need to go to a testing center, sit and take that CFM exam. Again, no training is required to sit for that CFM exam, but you have to meet the eligibility requirements. Yes, please, if you have questions, post them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them if you have questions going over something that I'm reviewing on the slides. I was a little surprised that I hadn't had any questions yet. So either you guys are just fully comprehending what I'm saying, or you want to wait till after, and that's perfectly fine too. The FMP is a lifelong credential. Once you attain that FMP, you have it for life. There is no maintenance that you must do on the FMP program. The CFM, as we've mentioned, is a certification. You must recertify it every 3 years to demonstrate you are maintaining your knowledge in the industry. So those are the key differences between the FMP and the CFM program. So if you are someone that is looking for training to help you within your job or career progression, the FMP might be a good selection for you. If you are someone who meets the eligibility requirements and wants to demonstrate your mastery of all 11 competencies, the CFM is going to be something that you would look at to have after your name. So the FMP, you've heard me mention it multiple times throughout this presentation, is the foundation of FM knowledge. The 4 competencies that you see on the screen here are the 4 competencies that make up the FMP program: project management, leadership and strategy, finance and business, operations and maintenance. These 4 competencies have been deemed critical for job competence, for job roles and responsibilities. These are the 4 critical competencies that make up these jobs analysis of facility managers. So the FMP bundle is going to include all 4. If you are someone who just wants training in project management, you have the ability to purchase just the project management module. That is the unique thing about IFMA's training courses, in that if you already have job knowledge in operations and maintenance and you're confident in your skills, you do not have to purchase the entire FMP bundle. A credential may not be your end goal. You may just want training to continue to upskill with your job. You can purchase any one of these competency courses individually to meet your needs. So just a quick question as we're on the FMP. So someone is asking, on the FMP, when they take the final assessment on the FMP, do they have to retake, and they fail it, do they have to retake it in the same sitting, or can they come back later and do a retake? So you heard me mention that when you purchase the FMP program, you purchase all of the training as well as the final assessments that you need to pass. Each one of these competency courses has a final assessment at the end, and that is what you must pass. Once you pass all 4 final assessments and submit your application for the FMP, then you have attained that FMP credential. Now, the way that the final assessments work is that they are timed. So once you begin one attempt of a final assessment, say on the project management course, you do have to sit and take that entire final assessment. Each one of the final assessments are different in the number of questions that they have. I want to say that you have around 60 minutes to 90 minutes for the final assessments. Apologies, I don't know what that exact time is off the top of my head, but I want to say it's around an hour to 90 minutes that you have for the final assessment, and you do have to complete it within that time. Now, if you fail that, or if something happens and you have to leave, that will use up one attempt. So make sure that when you are ready to take that final assessment, you have set aside the appropriate time to complete it. Excuse me. Now, if you fail it, you have 2 additional attempts to pass that final assessment. Sorry, just one moment. Now, if you fail all 3 attempts of that final assessment, the system will lock that final assessment, so you will not be able to attempt it again for 30 days. The system locks out for 30 days in order to kind of force you to go back through the content, the books, the training, and review the material again before attempting the final assessment. Now, after that 30 days, the system will unlock and you will be able to attempt that final assessment again to pass it. When you purchase the entire FMP bundle, you do have 2 years to complete that program. So that cycle of the system locking, if you fail 3 attempts, and then unlocking after 30 days, that cycle will just repeat itself until you pass that final assessment or your access to the course expires. So the SFP, the Sustainability Facility Professional, this is also a lifelong credential. There are no recertification requirements for the SFP. This SFP builds on the foundational knowledge. So we like to say that typically you should have at least a year of experience within facility management. You should be somewhat comfortable and competent within the foundational competencies before pursuing the SFP, because what you learn in the SFP is specific to sustainability, and that is added on top of those foundational competencies that you have already learned. So it is applying sustainability, so strategy and alignment, managing sustainable facilities, and operating sustainable facilities. It is applying those concepts on top of those foundational competencies. So this is a in-depth review into those 3 focus areas you see on the screen. just within the sustainability competency. So this is, again, training you on global standards of sustainability. So, how you answer the final assessment questions, how you're learning this content is going to be how you approach facility management from that global perspective, not how you would approach it within your own facility, but how you would approach it from that global perspective and can take that and can use it within your facility. Everything you need to complete the SFP is all online. The study tools, the flip books, the pre-tests, quizzes, case studies, and then again, the final assessments. So there's a final assessment at the end of each one of these focus areas. Once you've passed all three, then you can submit your SFP application to IFMA. Once that is approved, you have the SFP credential and you have that for life. So if we go back to the FMP, someone has one more question on the FMP here. Do they need to pay an extra fee after passing the final assessment in order to get the FMP credential? So IFMA recently updated its policy. If you have already purchased the FMP program and are currently going through it, if you purchased it before July of this year, so July 2022, there is an application fee for you. After July, IFMA has incorporated that application fee into the price of the FMP program. So if you are to go to the website now to purchase that FMP program, that application fee is included and there is no additional fee that you need when submitting that FMP application. And that is the same for the SFP. If you purchase the SFP credential program today, there is no application fee for you. So IFMA is a professional association. So in addition to training, IFMA also offers membership. And becoming a member of IFMA is a great way to continue to support yourself in your training and education. It's a great way to hold yourself accountable with others going through the training and education. It's a great way for you to network with other experts. IFMA does have an online community forum. It's called Engage, and we have specific groups for individuals who are going through any one of these credential programs. So you can join that group. You can talk with other individuals around the world who are also going through that credential program. You can find accountability within that community. You can find individuals that are willing to form a study group. It's a great way to kind of access the knowledge and experience of others going through the credentialing programs. IFMA also has a knowledge library. So as you're going through these trainings, or if you're just looking for additional resources to help you solve a problem that you're facing on your job, IFMA's Knowledge Library is a great resource for you. It is a digital library that houses research, articles, webinars, past conference webinars that IFMA's conducted. And these are all based on topics that fall within the 11 competencies. So you can filter the results in the knowledge library if you are someone that wants to find out what you have a technology problem. You can filter those results by the technology management competency, and you can find additional webinars that all relate to that technology competency and the sub competencies that are within that. IFMA also provides group training support to help you as you track your progress. We provide additional guidance and resources for best practices for completing the FMP. So we have a study guide that can help you understand how to organize your time so that you can complete the FMP program in as little as 4 months. 8 months, or 12 months. We are working on launching an SFP guide as well. That should be available here within the next couple months. And again, it's just an example of how to organize your time so that you can complete that program. We don't want you to just purchase the FMP or the SFP program and then never complete it and get the credential. We want to help you and support you through that program because this is a benefit to you and your career, and we want to see you through that. We are here for you for your lifelong learning. So building your foundation of FM knowledge, again, it just all comes back to that lifelong learning. As the workplace evolves, FMs are vital not only in facility operations and maintenance, but in organizational leadership, productivity, and growth. And one thing that's not on this slide is the safety of not only the building, but the people within your building. If the pandemic taught us anything, it's that facility managers are essential workers, and you are key to helping keep that organization and that people safe. So again, lifelong learning. IFMA has training and resources to help you with upskilling or answering any question you may have about an issue that you're facing within your job or facility. So because you have stuck with me here for these 46 minutes, I know it was a little bit longer than other presentations that IFMA's done. We have some special savings for you. Summer Learning 50 is going to give you $50 off the Essential Series or an FM competency course. So one of those 7 competency courses, not the 4 that make up the FMP, but one of those additional 7. This is a discount code that you can use. Summer Learning 100 is going to give you $100 off either the FMP bundle, so that's going to include all 4 competency courses, the SFP credential program, or the core competency course bundle. So we do offer a bundled product of all 7 additional competency courses that you can purchase. These discounts are valid through the end of August, so it gives you some time to do some more research, reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns, and then you can use those discount codes to get a little savings on the programs. You are not required to be an IFMA member to receive these discounts. However, if you are already an IFMA member, you do already receive a reduced price on the training and credentialing programs, and you can still use this code to get that additional discount off. So I think that answers Amos's question on, do you have to be a member to register for any of these credentialing or training programs? No, you do not have to be a member. However, if you are someone that maybe is looking to eventually attain your CFM and you're not yet eligible, or if you're someone that wants to utilize many of the training courses that we offer, we do provide discounts for members. So it may be beneficial to you to look at what that membership fee is. And if you are going to be purchasing, 1 or more training programs with IFMA, it may be of benefit to become a member so that you can receive those member discounts. And it might end up saving you more money in the long run. So that is the end. And it looks like we have a few questions that have come in. Someone is looking for some additional information on the CFM. If you just joined us late to this session, it is being recorded. You can access it again on IFMA's LinkedIn page. You should see it pop up in your feed, but you can also go to IFMA's LinkedIn page and watch this webinar again. I am also giving this presentation again in about another hour and 10 minutes. So if you want to sit for that again, bring some colleagues or your supervisor. I will be going over this presentation again at that time. That's 11 a.m. Central European Summer Time. So if you're looking for more information about the CFM, I'm just going to throw this slide up here very quickly for you, since this talks about the eligibility requirements. You do have to meet eligibility requirements to be eligible to sit for that CFM exam. Okay, and we have another question here. Just give me a moment to read it. So the question is, one of the prerequisites for maintaining the CFM certification is to attend IFMA events. So yes, there are a number of activities that you can do to maintain your CFM and recertify it. So I'm going to go to this slide here. One of those so these are the 4 categories that you need 6 activities in at least 2 of these 4 categories. One of those can be FM related education, and that can include attending IFMA conferences and events. Are IFMA members or non-members who live outside of the USA invited to attend IFMA conferences like World Workplace and Facility Fusion? Yes, absolutely. This is a great question. Yes, you can attend conferences and events, any of IFMA's conferences and events. We have global events. The main largest event that IFMA conducts is IFMA's World Workplace. This year, that is going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, in the USA. That is going to be at the end of September, that last week. If you are someone that needs a letter stating that you are attending this conference in order to attain a visa to attend, IFMA can provide that to you if you will please reach out to IFMA's Corporate Connections team. That's corporate connections at ifma.org. And I will go through and answer all of this in writing and the LinkedIn comments as well if you did not get that email address. But yes, all prospective members, all non-members looking to just join in on the largest FM conference and network with other professionals, attend the education and the trainings that we offer. Yes, we would love to have you. Please attend. We do have a large number of attendees that are global. So depending upon where you are coming, it is likely you already have many colleagues that have secured flights or are looking to come to those conferences as well. So someone is asking, where can they take the CFM exam? They're currently located in Nigeria. So Prometric Testing Center is the testing center that we use, to the testing site that IFMA uses to take the CFM exam. And Prometric Testing Center has I think they have over like 1,000 sites all over the world. So it is likely there are not only one testing centers in your city, but multiple. If you go to IFMA's website for information about the CFM exam, and again, I will go back and add that link directly after this session to you, you can look to see what is the nearest Prometric testing center near you for the CFM exam. And if you are located in Nigeria, I know that we do have testing centers in Lagos as well as Abuja. So there is likely a testing center very near where you live. Okay. So someone is again asking how they can attend the IFMA events. So I will post those events direct links to you after this session, but it is simply registering for those events online. If you do need to travel, you will need to secure your own flights to the location. IFMA also has hotel blocks for these conferences and events, meaning that there are specific hotels that we work with near the convention center that provide discounts to those attending the conference. So all of that hotel information is on those websites as well. But to attend these events, it is simply registering for the event online, booking your travel and your hotel to stay for that conference. Again, if you are someone who needs a letter from IFMA inviting you to the conference for a visa application, we can provide that letter to you. Please contact IFMA at corporateconnections@ifma.org, and we can help get that letter to you. So yes, so someone is asking about that free retake on the CFM exam. Yes, IFMA does offer a free retake. If you were to fail your first attempt at that CFM exam, you have 1 year to schedule that free retake. Once you fail that exam, again, IFMA will email you a report on the percentages that you got correct or wrong within those 11 competencies to help you understand what training you may need or what additional review you may need of those 11 competencies before sitting for the exam again. So you'll have that report to help you study and prepare before scheduling that free retake. So you do have 12 months after that initial CFM attempt to use that free retake. So someone is saying that they purchased the FMP bundle before July. So they would have that FMP application fee. If you are a member of IFMA, that is $140 US. Depending upon the country that you're coming from, it may be even less. So if it's a tier 3 country, then you're looking at $87. So all of that information is going to be online when you are submitting your FMP application. So if you purchased the FMP program before July, there is an application fee that you will need to submit when you go to apply for the FMP. If you are a member, that fee is $140 US. If you are a non-member, that fee is $250 US. We are about 3 minutes from kind of the end of this presentation. If you have questions that I did not get to, you can continue to insert them into that LinkedIn chat. I will go through as soon as this presentation ends and answer all of those questions in writing to you as well. Again, if you have any other questions that maybe you're not comfortable asking on LinkedIn, you can email our team. Oh, I thought we had our email address on there, but we don't. I'm sorry. That our team's email address is corporateconnections@ifma.org. And we are happy to answer any additional questions you have, talk with you on the phone, help you kind of talk through your options if anything was unclear on this presentation today. Again, this is also recorded. You can watch it again on IFMA's LinkedIn page. My colleagues in the US did a session yesterday. They had some amazing questions that were asked on that presentation, and it may be beneficial for you to watch that as well. There were some, again, some great questions, asking which credential might be right for them, an IFMA one or an other industry credential. So definitely look through those comments, or even if you have time to watch that presentation, because it was very beneficial to hear. Thank you all for joining me today. I am going to give this exact same presentation again in about an hour. So if you have a colleague you want to hear this, or your supervisor, please send them the link on IFMA's LinkedIn page so that they can hear this as well. Thank you all for joining me today. I really appreciate your time with me, for sticking with me for the full hour. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.